Number 10. Paladins Quest. This one is a weird game to judge and even praise. However, it's still one of the best we got in 1993, considering JRPGs were just starting to gain some ground in the West. Back then, mixing Middle Ages fantasy with futuristic environments was trending. This turn-based RPG was no exception, and it got some pretty interesting concepts. In any case, it's a love it or hate it game, but still among the top 10. Number 9. Super Ninja Boy. Remember Little Ninja Brothers on the NES? Well, this is the sequel. It follows the same two kids on a new adventure to stop evil, within its comedic nature of course. The gameplay isn't exactly the same, but more of an evolution. This one plays better as a beat 'em up during battle, and all the side-scrolling involved. There are some platforming missions as well, which adds a lot to the fun. Last but not least, the boss battles are played in turns for whatever reason, but they're still great too. Overall, Super Ninja Boy is a much better game than its predecessor, but both are underrated RPGs for its respective consoles. Number 8. Final Fantasy Legend 3. The final installment in the Saga series, taking advantage of the Final Fantasy name. A neat turn-based RPG with its challenging gameplay everywhere and some tough bosses here and there. We're talking about the true retro era, right when the alleged golden age of RPGs elapsed. Saga 3 doesn't stay behind at all, and it fights for its position among the best titles of 1993. Number 7. Lufia and the Fortress of Doom. This was the start of yet another underrated franchise where the real name was Est Polis Denki. I guess that name wasn't gonna catch anyone's attention in the West, which is why they took the name of the female heroine of the game for its localization. This is one of the many early grindfests in history, difficulty spikes everywhere, high encounter rate, and charming story about saving the world. It's a good game and a classic, I know, but, well, you know how I feel about it. Number 6. The Seventh Saga. Meet the hardest JRPG on the Super Nintendo, all because of an error in its localization. But was it really an error? Anyway, it's one of those where you can choose between several different characters to start your quest-driven adventure, all in the search of the mighty runes in a pseudo-open world. One of the biggest grindfests of all time with some brutally unforgiving boss battles. But goddamn is it addictive to play, perhaps due to its fast-paced interface, great controls, and awesome battle mechanics. Number 5. Dragon Slayer: The Legend of Heroes. The very first Legend of Heroes in existence. Actually, this game shouldn't even be here because it was officially localized by Working Designs in 1992. However, this was late in December, which means most people played it or finished it until 1993. As a matter of fact, most reviews and promotionals date back to January of the same year. So that's the reason why I decided to include it here instead. This is about Prince Logan escaping a raid from an invasion to join a rebellion, become its leader, and fight back for his kingdom. I like calling it the 7th Saga too because it's a ginormous grindfest as well, excruciatingly hard, but with an amazing kick-ass soundtrack, fast-paced interface, and addictive gameplay mechanics. It's just so damn fun to play, to be honest. It also has one of the funniest and worst voice acting in English ever created.
A fine morning to you, my lord.
Good morning, Elias.
Ah, my dear Prince Logan. I understand from the gate guards that you're still indulging in slime bashing.
Number 4. Landstalker. Landstalker is an isometric action RPG that follows the adventures of a treasure hunter. It's not a comedy at all, but it's definitely a game that doesn't take itself seriously. There's some platforming involved that's kinda tricky, but nothing gamers can't overcome. It also has some neat music, fun exploration, and great graphics for an RPG of its time. Number 3. Secret of Mana. One of the most iconic action RPGs ever made, beautiful, charming, and nostalgic. It is Seiken Densetsu 2, a sequel to Final Fantasy Adventure on the Game Boy. There's really no reason to talk about this excellent game on the Super Nintendo, as everybody's already familiar with it, especially thanks to the revival of the series with the most recent collection and a remake it got a few years ago. Number 2. Lunar, the Silver Star. This is it, the first and original version of this lovely classic that most of us met on several different consoles. The Sega CD one was impressive for its time, thanks to its animated cutscenes fully voiced. It brought a new perspective to storytelling since dialogues and character development fell deeper than in most JRPGs of its time. Battles were carried out in turns, side by side, but with a unique touch within the positioning of your characters. The Silver Star is definitely one of the best RPGs of 1993, as well as a very influential adventure for many years to come. Number 1. Shining Force. However, I gotta give the throne to a strategy RPG. I'm not saying it's better than the two previous titles, I'm just saying it was more iconic, simply because it popularized grid-based tactical JRPGs in the West before other major titles did. Shining Force was the true start of a memorable and important franchise that tried to offer a friendlier approach to the genre. It came along with a reliable story with a huge cast of characters. Soundtrack was so Genesis, so cool, so rocking. My biggest praise goes to its battle system, with an excellent interface, easy to maneuver, with a new take on the combat animations. Truly a quintessential journey that opened the doors for strategy RPGs into the West. Alright, we finally saw some of the most popular RPGs of the early 90s in this video. Things are going to start getting more and more interesting from now on. That's it for this video, see you in 1994.